Hi pals, it's me, Artie, they them pronouns only. I don't really know what this video is going to be honest. I thought maybe I would just have a little check-in with things and myself. The other day, one of the Twitter tarot readers pulled a card for me and I felt extremely called out and seen by this one card. It was the Five of Swords reversed. Pick your battles, choose the ones that are going to be productive rather than just battling to blow off steam. You are justified in being upset at a slight, but energies are limited right now, so a cooler head will help you conserve energy for the battles that produce results. Which is just very, very at me. Something I do a lot is get caught up in arguing or little comebacks online. Sometimes it's in my comments, sometimes it's on Twitter or wherever else. I think mostly I'm just really exhausted all the time with everything. I think I've reached a new stage of burnout because I've been having a lot of skill regressing. It's kind of been happening on and off and slowly over the years or months, but it's gotten a lot worse more recently in the last couple of months. Just finding that I don't have mental clarity to do a lot of things that I could do before. One of the main things I've noticed is I feel like I've lost the ability to just cook simple food items. And I can cook, I understand how to cook, I have the capabilities to cook. Some of my physical disabilities do prevent me from doing certain parts of cooking, but generally simple things or small things I should be able to do, but I just haven't been able to do those things because I often accidentally cause myself harm when cooking. Sometimes not being able to work out how big of a meal I'm creating means that I have to use bigger, pots, pans, whatever in the kitchen, which are already hard for me to lift and move and pick up. It leads to me burning foods. The oil in frying pans is often spitting out at me. Or I'm undercooking things in the fat fryer, like chips. And then when I try to cook more conservatively, carefully, things just don't cook. A lot of the times I'm basically making food that isn't even edible because it's either undercooked or overcooked, and that just sends me off on a meltdown. I've had a lot of meltdowns in the last 6 months and I've not really been sleeping very well. I've had a lot of nights where I haven't either slept at all or I've only slept between 1 and 5 hours, and usually at a weird point in the night, somewhere after 5 AM is when I finally get to sleep. And that's not every night. I think I might have found something that's sort of working for me at the moment, but I just feel exhausted and kind of incapable of doing anything. There's been a lot more stress on me and my family generally recently, which I think is the main reason for why I'm not sleeping, why I'm so stressed that I I'm at this point in sort of like a burnout. And I was also getting really bad postural headaches or migraines that literally just being upright was causing them, so I had to lay down in the afternoons, which makes it hard to do a lot of things. Obviously, I'm stressed about my art business. It's really hard moving forward with that generally. Having my work stocked in shops is not as easy as it might seem to be. It's very stressful trying to keep up with all of that and trying to find other places that will stock my work and stock different kinds of my work. I'm obviously not making a lot of money from these things, and stress from my research work. I spent a long time just repeatedly having to say the same things about access requirements and my particular access needs, but also thinking about other people's access needs, including participants in the research. And yeah, it was only recently some things finally changed and they've made more virtual options available or hybrid options, which means I can at least participate in more of the stuff that they keep putting on. Also a fun bit of stress as well, like seeing that my face just goes red when I rub my face. I am also dealing with waiting now when it comes to my skin allergy stuff for some patch testing. But yeah, back to what I was saying before. I've also applied to do my own small project. Like, I'm not well. Why did I do that? My last research video didn't really do well here, so I don't know. There are some things I'd like to talk about, but I haven't. So let me know if you would like to hear more about my research stuff. But yeah, there was basically an opportunity to kind of run your own project as long as it fit within this particular, like, vague but not that vague scope when it comes to healthcare experiences and research participation kind of stuff. And I won't know about that because that's also only the first part of the application, so I'm waiting to hear really if I pass into round 2 of the applications, and that'll be 22nd of February. And like, in some ways I think that may be really stressful for me to do, but also maybe less stressful in some ways as well, because I've had so many problems with like getting anyone to understand and respect not only my access needs but just disability and access needs in general, and also COVID risks and just generally other virus risks. Like, in the UK we have had, like, obviously a COVID resurgence, the flu, I think we've also had some bird flu concerns and norovirus. Like, full offence, why do any of you want to get any of those? I don't, so stop making me either come in or not be able to participate, thanks. So doing my own projects, I guess ideally would mean that I have less of that to deal with, but I'm also concerned that it would mean people, like, there won't be enough budget for the kind of support I need. But I don't know, no use in being that concerned about it until I know either way. Also yesterday I realised that I can't see through my glasses, like in sort of the top area of my glasses. I can't read words, which is really stressful. I've been wondering why I can't see and it's because of my glasses. I basically realised because I just sort of went, I don't know why, I just did this and I could see better. I know that my new glasses are bigger than my last pair, but they're one prescription. It's not like I'm a multi, very focal, whatever. So I don't know what's going on with that. And like, this is as high as they go up my face, and Like if I'm sitting and looking at the TV, I can't see. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. And that's just another stressful thing. Like, these new glasses were like a little treat to myself. They are a lighter frame. They have the darker frame that I have kind of been wanting back again for a couple of years. And also they're wider for my big head. And it was already stressful enough trying to get them done and fitted, picking them up, and then having to go back to replace the nose pads because the ones that came with the frames were like just cheap, poorly printed ones, which is now a thing. Like, capitalism is destroying glasses as well. Like, I can't, I'm unwell. So yeah, now the idea of like, oh, I might have to go and either talk to them about why that's happening or get more adjustments or something else bigger to my glasses just makes me I just feel fucking awful. And then, I mean, I already complain about this constantly, but whatever is happening with this YouTube algorithm, I don't know. I have been watching all of those YouTube SEO, how to get more viewers, like, channels and shit, but like, if I use their free tools, I'm already doing everything that they tell you to do. I'm doing all the SEO properly. You don't know who's just making up shit as well. Like, there's a few very convenient theories from some of them. And it's just really frustrating because, like, I want to and try to put a lot of work and energy and time into my videos. Some more than others, obviously. And I just keep going back to, like, I was so pleased with where this channel was at the end of August last year. And it all just disappeared. And I don't know why. I don't know how to come back from that. And pretty much since then, I've just watched my watch time slowly decrease because some of my really popular videos were at the start of last year that had thousands of views at the time, not recently. And even trying to replicate my own past videos at the times that they've worked, the same kind of format video, they're just not getting picked up by the algorithm anymore. And like, yeah, I wish I could shut the fuck up about it. I really do. I don't want to keep complaining about my YouTube, but I'm just really sad. And also all these other channels talking about like how to get more views or whatever are always talking about small channels like they're new. Like, I've been here a long time. I got back into making YouTube after university because I got really sick and then the pandemic happened. So like, I'm nearing on like maybe 7 years just from that period of time till now, and I just don't know what else to do. Oh, my neck hurts sitting here. And like, I have plenty of theories about everything. Like, obviously nobody is in lockdown anymore, and a lot of people don't have that much spare time. So people are maybe watching a lot of things less. Like, maybe if you're prioritizing films or TV shows over YouTube, then yeah, you're not watching YouTube as much as you used to. Lots of people actually prefer using YouTube, but people are also creatures of habit. and don't necessarily go and watch a lot of new or small channels over their like top favorite people. And like I'm definitely like similar. There are some occasions where I'll explore a new channel or a small channel, and you know, we have less money to do anything, so people aren't going out as much, or that's where they're prioritizing their extra spending money instead of on other things. I don't know. People want to be out more, but then also can't actually afford to be out more. And like, I think as well, I just feel I think I feel that age clock a little bit now I'm 30. I mean, I was feeling it leading up to 30 because I was so anxious about turning 30, but now I am 30. I'm like, shit, in 10 years I'll be 40. Like, my mum's barely 21 years older than me. She'll be 60 in 10 years. And it's like, when do I find somebody? When and how do I find somebody to be with? How do I deal with possibly wanting to have kids? I don't know. It just feels like it just feels hard. Everything's just hard all the time, and I definitely have the privilege and luxury of having a lot less responsibilities due to living at home with my family. But also I want to step up, but the only way I can step up is if any of my businesses actually start doing well. And like, I feel at the moment in my brain that I keep getting a million ideas for videos and other things generally as well, but I'll stick to videos as the metaphor, I guess. I just don't have the time, the energy, the ability to do some of that prep work for those videos. Because it's just me, and because this channel doesn't make money, and because I don't really make a lot of money elsewhere either. And it's just, trying to keep track of everything. A lot of the time it feels like my ADHD meds aren't doing anything at the moment because of how like stressed and strung out and burnt out I am, that I don't like, it definitely does something, but it's not doing as much as it used to do. I mean, that's kind of the same with a lot of my meds are not really doing what they should be doing. It's always like, what can I do next? What can I do that would bring more people to my videos, bring more people to buying my artwork, you know, that sort of thing. Looking into different like suppliers for stuff when it comes to my art business is really exhausting and stressful. Like, the reason why I use the sticker company I use is because you can kind of just pick and choose all the things online and then go, cool, is that everything? Great, thanks, that's the price, amazing. And then just wait for it to turn up. You don't have to speak to people, you don't have to keep emailing about quotes and shit and trying to explain stuff that is hard to explain, because like, the sticker company I use moved premises and then didn't set up the particular machine that was required for the kind of stickers that I wanted, and they didn't set it up for like 6 months. Like, it's only literally just been set up, and I put in an order quite quickly because they also had a discount available, and they're like the cheapest place too. But like, yeah, there's no constantly emailing back and forth about stuff, whereas everything else, like all the other people I was looking into for supplying stickers, you have to email for quotes, and it's like, can you not give me any rough estimate at all? And I bought a stamp a while back that was expensive and was a waste of money because the stamp doesn't stamp well, and yes, I can't prove there's something wrong with the stamp, so that was just a loss I had to take. Trying to find somewhere else that will be able to do stamps that actually fucking work is also really hard. One local place was doing them, and then they were like, yeah, we don't do those anymore. And I was like, sick. I'm just gonna delete all of our emails then, because I don't need anything else from you now. Or like some of the responses from people about the stickers when I was still looking was like, oh, the minimum is like, oh no, it was badges. I'm now looking at badges. And they were like, oh, minimum buy is 2,000. It's like, why don't you just fucking say that somewhere on the website? Why do I have to email people for quotes when the minimum is something way above what I'm looking for? So I have found a badge site that is similar to the sticker site, but now I need to go and actually like get measuring tape to actually understand how big the sizing options are, because I want to try and make like some small, like, you know, that sort of size-ish, if possible, small badges out of sticker designs and stuff. Still nowhere on the stamps though, because like basically I like and want the stamps because it'll be easier for me to just kind of buy packaging, plain packaging, and then stamp my logo, my Artie name and stuff on there. And I like the sort of hand-done, handmade sort of vibe of that too. But yeah, it's just like so hard to find somewhere that will do custom-made stamps, but also won't just like take your money without being like, hey, this is not gonna work. And like every time, that's the thing, is like all of these emailing people about quotes just runs down my energy to do emails. So like getting a bunch of replies back where they have a bunch of like more questions for me is like, well, my guy, can you have some prompt questions please, so I can give you that information when I send the original quote? I don't know. Or they're like, try this person, and you're like, I have run out of energy to do emails. Like, I can't do many emails in a day because part of it is the communication aspects. Like, people don't read. People don't read, and they just don't answer my questions, or they say something completely irrelevant, or like just don't update me about anything. And then I'm chasing them more. But yeah, by the time they're like, oh yeah, no, this is not gonna work, or I'm like, this is not gonna work, I don't have any energy left to go to the next option. And it takes me so long to do that. So it's just, yeah, like a lot of people's websites are unusable, don't say anything, and then yeah, having to speak to people by email doesn't really help. A lot of your questions aren't answered, so you have to ask again, or like, because you're emailing so many people, you can't remember if you've asked that question or not, and it just kind of keeps going. Then I've got to email people enough as well when it comes to my research job. Like I said, communication is terrible, access stuff is terrible. I've spoken to them numerous times about doing a newsletter, which will be coming. They're literally hiring a whole person for it, as well as a few other like job roles, not just to do with that. When it came to the research stuff, you could get like 5 emails a day from multiple different people, sometimes multiple emails from the same person. Like, I don't know why they do this as well, but they often send like the video call sort of like invite links and stuff in like an entirely separate email, and they don't put anywhere what, oh, there's a little blue tit on the electric cable, bye. And yeah, they won't put any sort of reference to what meeting this is. It's just the date and time, and because they have so many either in-person or online meetings, sometimes you don't fucking know what They are. And if you open that email on your phone, it doesn't even tell you that basic information. Like, I don't know why they do this. I've mentioned this before. Like, just put that in the email before, the one that you sent 2 seconds beforehand about this specific thing. Because, like, if you're coming to it and you see a bunch of emails, you're not necessarily going to be able to, like, directly realise that they're linked to each other as well. And it's a lot of back and forth with people, a lot of waiting around, a lot of people not responding. And then, obviously, that's the same issue anyway when it comes to my business stuff, when it comes to trying to find stockists. Like, that, you know, all of this takes away my energy from finding a new shop to stock my work, because it's like some of the times when I'm up in the middle of the night, I'll be able to bash out 6 of them, and like maybe 2 people will reply to me, and more likely than not it will be a rejection, which is fine. Like, it's nice that they got back to me at least. I think my little bit of dry skin is actually finally gone. Yay. So yeah, like, part of my plan for 2025 was finding more stockists, because a lot of them generally are not great at updating when they need stock or when they owe you money. But also, you don't really earn a lot from a handful of shops. You kind of need to be in a bunch of them. So it's like chasing up people who said not right now, but definitely sometime in the future. It's finding new shops to contact them and be like, hi, this is who I am, this is my work that I think you might like to stock in your shop. And as well, there's always the possibility of embarrassment because you've emailed a shop that's just very obviously not, either doesn't stock anything outside of, you know, books, or is just a cafe, or is not like the vibe you thought it was. But like, I don't mind that as much really, because I can't get to all these places to check out the shops, you know? And if I don't email them, then I will never know. And we're now trying to set up like a system/list thing where it's like, here's who you've already contacted, who have said yes, no, so that I don't end up contacting people multiple times who were just a plain no for one reason or another. Most people just don't reply though, so it's kind of always left as a question mark in a way. A lot of those as well, I don't understand why they have just been left unanswered, because I know my work is, or like the work that I've presented to them is suitable for their particular like shop, etc., but they just don't get back to you. Even just a little like, sorry, we're full at the moment. Some places also you have to rent the space per month, and that's kind of risky, because if you don't sell enough to cover that fee every month, like, there's no point. So that's one thing that I'm currently considering. I found a new like gift shop area that I think I could possibly sell my log slice wall hangings in, but for one, I'd have to work out how I display those there, because they're just shelves, and I'd have to see if I could maybe do just like a trial of a month or 2, because I think this place currently is charging £12.30 a month, but in April it's going up to £12.67 or something really specific. And like, I think as well, generally this happens to me quite often, and I get to this point quite often where I just feel very lonely, that like my friends have all kind of disappeared, which is not entirely the case at the moment, but like some of my closest friends who don't live near me struggle to keep in regular contact because of, you know, either their chronic illnesses are flaring up, or their job is making it really hard for them to have any energy outside of their job. And then there's a lot of other people who I don't know what the answer to that is. But you just spend a lot of time feeling like nobody wants to talk to you, nobody wants to come and hang out or meet you somewhere or do anything. And then it always feels like every time they do, it's when you can't make it. Like, I've kind of accidentally fallen into having a few markets to do, and I wasn't planning on doing markets until nearer autumn, but a few have popped up and I thought I might as well give them a go. I was at the Brighton vegan open market, which they are now not going to be doing anymore for some reason, even though I know people travel from out of town to come to that market because it's like mostly a food market, as well as like some other, you know, like I was there as an artist, not as, I didn't make any food. And it's like, well, generally, like, February is not gonna be that busy because it was the 1st of February. It was super cold that day. It wasn't particularly busy. It was just people who use that area as a walkthrough for the most part. We also had to be there really early when people weren't there until midday and later on. My next market from when I'm filming is the Neuromancers event on the 22nd of February, which is currently a small market along with like a bigger general event, so I'm hopeful that it will go well, but I do have some concerns. But also, like, they're a really important like support organisation for neurodivergent people, so I wanted to support them. And also I think a lot of the people who would be going to this are probably, you know, a large part of my arts audience base, so I feel like it's worth going. Also the table fee was lower than most markets generally at the moment. Also the open market dropped their fee from 25 to 10 on the day, probably because nobody was going. But yeah, this organisation, Neuromancers, it's a fundraising event so they can carry on supporting people for the next year or so. Then after that, it's a queer market that's a fundraiser for Palestine in Portsmouth. I always forget the like organising group's name, but like they had some ACE funding money for like 4 years of work or something, I don't know, something like that. So this is like their last year of doing things, so I thought I'd give that market a go. It's the 19th of April in a tap room. Like, I've not had the best experiences of markets in pubs, so I'm hoping this one will be different. And then I think the next one after that is the 5th of May, Bow Markets in Brighton's Unitarian Church. Again, I've not done this market before. A friend of mine always recommends them. The organiser has been very nice, but they work on a first come first serve sort of basis when it comes to booking up for market stalls, which I personally don't think is like the greatest way to run markets, because you'll probably end up with a lot of the same people at all of your markets if they're able to sit and fill in that application and pick all of those dates. So yeah, that's the only date I've gotten. I was given the first chance to like pick out of dates on Jubilee Square, but the table fees were even higher, and I understand why. The equipment rental is very expensive now, and I just don't think I would be able to make enough money to even like break even in summer out on the Jubilee Square. So yeah, I've kind of just backed out of that one, and I'm on the wait list, or you know, whatever, for autumn winter market dates later in the year. But hopefully the 5th of May will be good because it's a bank holiday. Maybe people will be out. I don't know. I don't really follow bank holidays particularly closely. And yeah, generally I kind of back to the original point of me talking about anything at all here was burnout and sleeping problems and skill regression. I feel like there's just kind of no place for me for support in that way. I'm very lucky to have a support worker like from a autistic charity in the area, sort of, who is helping me and my GP try to navigate what services I could and should be using and under, because like after my 6 months at Steps, I got booted off of the mental health service right away, even though they said that there were other like not services, but like, I don't know, I guess services maybe, that could be beneficial to me, including this thing called sensory modulation. Never heard of it. Even my support workers never heard of it. So, but like, yeah, so they, instead of just either referring me, putting me on a wait list, they just boot you off the service, and you have to go back through via your GP. And part of me is like, I don't really see what the point is, and I don't really know how to say, hi, I want to go and do sensory modulation therapy, when nobody seems to know what it is outside of that particular service. But also, like, my support worker is surprised I don't have an ADHD nurse. I'm like, no, because I got diagnosed through Psychiatry UK. They just leave you to your own devices, really. You don't have a nurse outside of when you're actually actively titrating a medication, and you only see a consultant like once a year, just as a checkup. I don't know if they do anything else, and also because they're technically a private service, they only do certain things for free or through the NHS. So I would be concerned that if I went to them with any of these other issues, that I would get a bill for the medication or for that support or whatever. Because one of the things we've been looking into is melatonin to help me sleep, but also it could be beneficial for a lot of other things too that are ailing me. Migraines, blood pressure, pain apparently. Obviously sleep, and it seems to be the most effective sleep remedy for people with ADHD and or autism, but you can't access it anywhere. And it's like, I turned around and said, I feel like am I supposed to have a psychiatrist or something? Like, obviously I don't want mental health medications or like mental illness, like drugs of whatever kind, because all the ones I've been on before haven't worked. I don't think the problem is I'm depressed or whatever, or anxious. The problem is my life is a mess and makes me mentally ill. Like, my pain makes me mentally ill. Cost of living and the government makes me ill. It's not a separate mental illness. But it's like, but who else prescribes, other medications? And it's the same thing with the pain treatments. The only people you can see are your GP or the pain clinic, and even they are just like, meditate the pain away, mindfulness the pain away, and don't actually treat the problem. They don't treat the pain. They don't help with the sleep issues. So it's like, yeah, who do you speak to about these things when it's not the GP, when it's not the rheumatologist that you're under? Like, who do you speak to about these issues supposedly outside of the realm of their abilities to prescribe or treat? Because, like, sleep problems are not a mental health issue, but it seems to be that you're not allowed to get most of these medications without a psychiatrist. But my support worker has said there is a particular service that I could possibly be under, because it's under like the area, so she's contacted my GP practice to let them know about it, so that they can maybe do something about that. Probably will need to chase it, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Yeah, everything is ridiculous. I'm just exhausted. And a lot of things as well that I would like to try to get or access for some reprieve are just so hard to access because of location. Like, most things are in London, which is like a big day going to London. You can't really fit multiple appointments in one day in London either, because everything takes so long to get somewhere, that trying to then get to a different part of London as well, when most of these places like run late. Like, if there was a closer place that does Botox for pain, I'd be there right now. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just tired. I'm so tired. I'm tired of trying to do all this stuff, even with the support I've had. I also need to find a new PA, by the way. My PA's quitting. She's realised how hard it is to be a self-employed PA and wants to go back to full-time, like, employed work. And it's like, okay, cool. She's given me a month, and it's like, that's not enough time to find somebody, but cool, okay. So my support worker has helped start that process, but even then we have lost a week. It will take time for people to see the advert if the advert goes up, because I'm filming this on a Wednesday when we only really finished the ad 2 days ago and we were waiting for some responses. So yeah, you've got to wait for it to be posted, you've got to wait for the responses, you've got to speak to those people, and then you've got to fill in forms, and then you have to send forms off to our social care people so that these PAs can submit invoices and get paid. It's just ridiculous how much work it is. And then also, there aren't any people in this area. There's no one in this area generally, but also nobody doing this job. And people who aren't that far away don't have their own modes of transport, which is also important when you live in the middle of fucking nowhere. So yeah, it's like every time something is done and sorted, 40 more things happen, and I'm just really tired, and I'm trying to take it like step by step, day by day. Like, one of my main focuses right now is trying to sell a bunch of our stuff secondhand on Vinted, because we have a lot of stuff we need to get rid of that either has never been used or has barely been used, so that we don't have to take loads of stuff when we finally move, but also to like save up towards those moving costs, because moving is very expensive. There's so many additional costs and fees to everything, it's genuinely ridiculous. So yeah, like that's what I'm trying to focus on, doing that, and I'm trying to focus on working on some of the videos that are like ideas I have that I really want to make, like videos I want to be making and putting out, and just trying to like slowly sort out things to do with my art business. I'm like, behind me is my suitcase, oh my god, I can't point with that hand, that I am refilling for my next market. Yeah, there's just so much. So yeah, a lot of the time I'm really tired and don't have much motivation for anything. I'm always sort of on the edge of another meltdown, again and again and again. And also meltdowns are just really exhausting and take a toll on you physically, especially when you're chronically ill. I don't know, if you want to if you want to help me in any way, the top things you can do to help me are watching my videos to help with my watch time. That's just a goal I've had for a long time, and I've realised as well the watch time hasn't changed, they've just changed a few different things, so I still need 4,000 watch hours, like, if I want to monetize based off of ads. Sharing my art or video promotional posts on different social media. I'm on Blue Sky, I'm still on Twitter, I've got 2 accounts on Instagram, one of them's just my art account and one of them's my just like general everything sort of account I don't post on as much. Like, I think I've said this before, I mean, I can't remember if that was in my blog post at the end of the year, but like, there's a lot of things that I'm not allowed to do because it's considered self-promotion. So you actively sharing my videos does really help, because I'm then not getting done in for self-promo. But yeah, generally sharing posts that I've made on socials does help, because it gets to other people. It gets to, obviously, to people who follow you, but also it will just generally make the algorithm happier. Those are the main things you can do if you don't have money to support me, because like, I know people don't have much of an expendable income, and I get it. I don't expect people to always buy stuff or donate or become like a coffee member or whatever, but genuinely playing my videos in the background when you're doing something does help with the watch hours. And yeah, sharing promotional posts and weirdly liking listings on Depop. Apparently if you have a Depop account, you can like or save listings, and apparently that helps keep those listings going round in like, or like generally any of my listings going round in their algorithm. The fact that, you know, shopping apps and websites now have a different kind of algorithm is ridiculous. Also, I've noticed on YouTube half the time I can't find my own videos unless I put my username in quotation marks. Like, it will just show other people's videos even though I've had like used my own username. Sometimes it's easier for me to just go Artie Carden, my doctor didn't believe me, in the search bar to find my videos rather than going through all of just my videos tab. And yeah, I've been finding that my videos just aren't coming up even if you use my fucking username, which is, again, mad. Surely, if you're typing in someone's username, there's a reason for that. So yeah, I now have to put my username in quotation marks in searches for my own videos because it doesn't even show me my own videos. Like, you can't tell me that there's not a problem with the YouTube algorithm when I can't even find my own videos. So yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. I did think I'd be a bit more emotional, I'm not going to lie, but I think maybe that's the point I'm at, is that I'm just so dead. I'm just dead. I'm tired. Like, nothing is going on. I have been trying to spend a little bit of time going to places or doing things where I kind of have to get away from my horrible little like admin, social media filled work and hobby life. So I'm actually going to the cinema later at 2:30 to see the Macbeth with David Tennant in it. And last week, me and my mum watched the Les Mis performance from 2020 with Carrie Hope Fletcher. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw that new film with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. I've just been finding that the cinema has been a good place to like just remove yourself from the world, because you're not supposed to be on your phone there, and it's very dark, and you have to just do the thing that you went there to do. And also the cinema, if it's not too expensive, is a good way to watch live theatre shows. I also saw, I can't remember what it's called, the Prima something, Jodie Comer in the other year. They're much cheaper than going to the actual theatre, and it's much closer to home. But we have a very small independent theatre that is much cheaper than like a Cineworld or an Odeon or a View, whatever the fuck. So it's a lot better going there anyway, even just to see a film. It's like, I don't know, £7 or £8 for a ticket, whereas it's like usually £20 now for a fucking ticket anywhere. Also, something that I forgot to mention generally is that I'm trying out this other YouTube hack thing. I don't know. I'm trying it out. I've made a few of them, so we'll see. But like, before this video goes up, one of them will have gone live anyway. I've been seeing people talk about combining all of their videos on a particular topic into one long video, and how that does a lot better for watch time or something. So I don't know. The one that will have gone up before this video is on adalimumab injections, because I haven't really made a new video about those in a long time. I don't really have any further updates about them, and it was like a selection of videos that were quite popular initially and are evergreen videos, so they continue to be relevant and important for people to be able to find. So we'll see. I don't know if that will work, because I've done longer videos but not in this particular way. I mean, in some ways it helps at least give me an extra week to work on a video, or an extra week off for a bit of rest. So I think I've made 3 of these total on different topics. I don't know if the topic will also depend on how well it does. So I think the other ones I have put together are autistic representation in media, which obviously is not going to be all of the videos either, because there's a few that just didn't do very well anyway, and then I probably will have made several more since putting that one together. And then I think the other one is my just like medical cannabis stuff all in one. And I think I was going to do the ADHD video, but also I got feedback on my last ADHD video on when I was talking about Mediconnect that the videos are too long for ADHDers to watch, so which is valid. So I don't know how useful putting all of those into one long video would be. So I don't know. We're just seeing how it goes, and if it makes any difference or if it helps at all for watch time. I don't know. It's what people have been saying, and I have been seeing people doing this. Genuinely, I have no idea. So yeah, leaving the house has led me to losing my mind again, so I don't know why I bother doing literally anything. Have my nice little cinema thing booked and ready. Wanted to pop into town a bit earlier so I can go pick up some things from Boots, but oh wait, you're in the middle of a fucking signal pit again, where no Wi-Fi in the area works, and neither does your own fucking data. So you can't do what you were going to do. You can't contact anybody. Oh, and then they just start the fucking live performance show 10 minutes earlier than their start time. So you miss the start, along with a bunch of old biddies. You have to try and find your seat in the pitch black, and you're sat there in the one row where there's a million people when the rest of the fucking thing is basically empty, and then trying to do literally anything at home. Nothing wants to work. Trying to transfer my videos won't work unless my phone is literally on top of my fucking laptop like this. Why? Why? And your stupid iPhone charger makes a horrible high-pitched tweeting noise that probably only I can fucking hear anyway. Google doesn't work. The 12-foot wall thing doesn't work. People are lying about how that works. You don't get over paywalls with that. You can't fucking read pay for articles with that 12-foot thing. People don't understand how the fuck that works because they keep telling me it works in a different way. Anyway, that's me just rambling on still. So yeah, I do appreciate if you do those things I said that are helpful for me and my work, because yeah, I genuinely just can't do it by myself. And yeah, it's just tough out here for anything you do. Everything is tough. And I just don't have the money or the support to do all of these things. And yeah, I'm just getting a bit exhausted by it. I would really appreciate it though if you went and watched my video talking about Patience, the autistic main character crime drama show. It's a video I put a lot of work into because I was going to make a video on the original French version, but there's no audience for that. Not in England anyway. So I kind of combined the two. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I really like talking about is autistic representation. So I would love it if you went and watched that video. Besides that, that is it this week. And I will see you next week. Bye.